I saw one of your tweets. You were very positive about Aaron Rodgers, both for the fit in New York and also for fantasy purposes. So describe that. How do you think that ends up working?
Yeah, so the tweet I put out was basically about how bad he was in 2022. But, he didn't have Devontae Adams. He had a bad thumb for a lot of the season. And I think fans and maybe the media, they kind of gloss over that. They think if you're out there, then you should be giving us 100%. But you have a quarterback with a banged up thumb on his throwing hands. So I gave some real nerdy stats, like his yards per attempt last year was 33rd among all quarterbacks with 100 dropbacks. There's only 32 teams, so he was 33rd. In 21, when he had Devontae Adams, he was 6th best. So, like last year, he was, he had fewer completions, yards, and touchdowns than his prior MVP seasons. And, oh, by the way, he played a game more last season than he did those other years. It's just, he's forcing the ball. He's got bad receivers, more turnovers. I think this year, I'm looking at 30-plus touchdowns. This team is loaded. Garrett Wilson, if you're a fantasy player, this guy's a fringe first-round pick. People are talking him up like, he's the next Devontae Adams, and he damn well might be. So I'm excited for the Jets. I wish I knew more about Breece Hall. Maybe you guys got some insight on that. But, boy, he's an electric player, too, with the speed he has. I'd love to see him at full health. And the defense is legit. I was talking to a buddy in the offseason, and I said, why is no one talking about Sauce Gardner as the betting kind of dark horse for NFL Defensive Player of the Year or defensive or just overall league MVP? But just for Defensive Player of the Year, a lot of times it goes to pass rushers or whatever.
Right.
The Jets from Hard Knocks all the way through the season are going to be on everyone's mind. They're going to play 1 million nationally televised games. If the Jets are in first place and Sauce makes a play or two here and there and a pick six, whatever, these guys, nobody watches all these games, all these writers. They just take what one smart guy says, what Peter King puts in his Monday Morning Quarterback, and they go, oh, well, I should vote for Von Miller. He's the best defensive player. Yes. And then everybody on Monday on their show says, Von Miller should be the MVP or, whoever the guy is that year. But I love Sauce Gardner this year. He's a dynamic playmaker on the defensive end. And it's going to be fun. The Jets have to outscore the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Patriots. That's going to be a division. You've got to win shootouts. You got to score 30 points a week. So for fantasy, I'm all in with the Jets.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about Jermaine Johnson. As a matter of fact, they're saying that he cut down a ton of fat. This guy is built like an ox. Clemens looks really, really good. If anybody's checked Michael Clemens out with his shirt off, he looks beastly. This defense is going to be as explosive as teams like San Francisco, like the Eagles. Everybody keeps comparing these 3 or 4 defenses. The Jets are right there with them. Even the Cowboys, where the Cowboys fell apart in the second half last year, the Cowboys don't have the depth that the Jets have. They added Woods. They added guys like that. And they're adding pieces to the weakness that they had last year at stopping the run. As far as Breece Hall is concerned, Brian, Breece Hall looks like he's going to start the season. Israel, the kid that they drafted, I think in the 4th or 5th round, they said today he looked really explosive. They have so many weapons around the field, like you said. Even look at the tight ends. They're saying Ruckert looks fantastic. He might actually beat Conklin out for the job this year. They have
a really good player at Ohio State.
Yes.
I remember watching him because Ohio State plays just 1 million big games a year. And he's a really good player. He can catch the football. He can block a little bit. A lot of these tight ends that come out these days that are, the next Travis Kelce, they can't block a lick like Dalton Kincaid in Buffalo. He's not really a tight end. He's a big slot receiver. So that's good to see, man. I'm happy. Jets fans, Bills fans.
I'm a Jet fan, but
these guys
I don't brag about it.
You guys have been beaten down literally your entire life with how bad these teams have been. So, I'm rooting for it. I want to see the Bills win. I want to see the Jets win. I'd love to see the Browns win. Just because the fan base needs it. You deserve it once in a while. I lived through it as an Eagles fan. I knew heartbreak after heartbreak.
My second favorite team.
It's fun to win once in a while.